think about sea level rise and you talk about millimeters per year or, inches, tenths of inches per year, it doesn't sound like very much. But over a decade, an inch of inundation, an inch of higher water level can change what we're looking at in a really big way.
There was a movie called The Perfect Storm. That's the storm that movie was made about. But when it went by here, it caught everybody by surprise. People woke up in the morning, in the middle of the night, basically, with water in their house, in their yard. They didn't have any idea it was coming.
So right now, we just left Town Hall and we're going out one of the main roads to get out to County Road 40, 63rd Street. And this is really the heart of downtown Yankeetown. If you come here, you have to have some type of interest in the outdoors. So, yeah, if you're going to fish, if you are somebody that likes to birding or hiking or walking, or we actually have maps for about 14 different trails that go either on the river or out into the coastal Gulf along the estuary and the islands that are out there. There is recreational fishing, which is really a pretty good sizable industry for our area. You have your stone crab, your blue crab fishermen, your offshore fishermen for commercial, for grouper and snapper and those type of fish. And we do have oystermen that are fishing in our waters out here. Actually, there's been an influx of oystermen coming from other areas in the state, primarily the Apalachicola area, where the oyster industry has been kind of hard hit.
Captain Bill Phillips. We're in Yankeetown, Florida, and I run offshore fishing and dive charters. This is the end of the Withlacoochee River where it dumps into the Gulf of Mexico. It begins in the green swamp above Lakeland, Polk City, and here's where it ends. It's one of the most beautiful rivers in Florida, and it's remained that way. There's not houses on this river anywhere here, and it needs to stay that way. The human population is putting its pressure on the fish, and we know the climate change is changing things. Saltwater intrusion, all that's happening today. So that's affecting the fishery because the fish are not in the same environment as larvae, as juveniles. All that's changing because of saltwater intrusion. So what's that going to do to the fishery? It's probably going to decline even further. So if we already know fisheries are nothing like they were in the 60s and 70s, what is climate change doing to affect that fishery too? It's got to be stressing it. So what do we do?
Sure, we're walking on an elevated boardwalk, and it's elevated because storm water, storm surge, these areas will flood out here. Okay, so we're probably up about 30 inches off the ground, and we're going to walk out to a tidal pool. From an economic standpoint, this type of preserve with our education classes. This brings people to the area.
So 86% of Yankeetown's area is natural, is non-built environment. And in fact, the footprint of Yankeetown goes 3 miles out into the Gulf and includes all these offshore islands of forest and marsh. So it's a place where the natural resources aren't just like adjacent and important. They are part of Yankeetown. They are administratively, legally, regulatorily in Yankeetown, and that's very unique.
Boardwalk area, yeah. Goes around the estuary pool. Yeah, we can go there different. Yeah.
Down there in the bottom of the PVC pipe, and as the water level comes up and down, the sensor experiences more or less pressure. And so basically that pressure is exactly related to the height of water above it. Climate change, which you hear about on the radio and you hear about on TV and read about, it's kind of abstract until plants and animals from different places, they don't have politics. So they decide if they're going to decide to move north or south or up in elevation or down in elevation. They're following real physical climate. They observe the environment without any sort of politics getting in the way. A southern species moving north is an indication that it's warming.
When you have a storm surge, that's a 12-foot storm surge, you're going to put the whole town underwater. So protecting these areas is important.